Said if there's a therefore, find out what it's there for. Well, this is what it's there for. Jesus was in the likeness of God. He humbled himself. He became a servant. Therefore, you hear it? Because he humbled himself, he became a servant. Therefore, God exalted him to the highest place and gave him the name that is above all names. God exalted him. He humbled himself. God exalted him. Now here you go. There's a kingdom principle again. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6 says, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. Humble yourself so that he may exalt you in due time. James chapter 4 verse 12 says, humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up. Your job and my job is not to lift ourselves up. It is our job to humble ourselves and serve. Then, in due time, when we do that, he will lift us up. He will raise us up. He will exalt us. And then anything that he makes us has nothing to do with us because we didn't raise ourselves up either. So whatever success, whatever effectiveness we have in ministry, all our job is to do is to humble ourselves and serve. And then because it qualifies us, when he raises us up, then we know it's him, it's not us. All we did was humble ourselves. So how many of you think that ministry is going to take this huge thing? You have to be incredibly qualified and take classes and what have you. So you have to be ministered, you have to have can I just say, serve somebody. We have snow angels happening now, and when it snows 1.5 inches in Alamosa and the surrounding communities, then you get up at 6:30, 6 or 6:30?
6.
Get up at 6 in the morning and go shovel some snow off the entrances of older ladies or disabled people or some community outreach thing. What does it mean to serve? Get up at 6 o'clock and go do that. 6 to 7:30. This isn't rocket science. It's not hard. You want to be great in the kingdom, go serve. Go serve. Serve somebody.
Good job.
Be the servant of all. You want to be great in the kingdom, be the servant of all. Luke chapter 14, verse 7 through 11. This is a long one. When he, meaning Jesus, notice how the guests picked the places of honor at the table. Boy, wouldn't that have been great to be videotaped? People are sizing each other up to see what the pecking order is going to be. He told them this parable, verse 8, Luke 14:8. When someone invites you to a wedding feast, do not take the place of honor, or a person more distinguished than you may have been invited. So, if so, the host who invited both of you will come and say to you, give this man your seat. Then, humiliated, you will have to take the least important place. But when you are invited, take the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he will say to you, friend, move up to a better place. This is Jesus talking on this principle. Then you will be honored in the presence of your fellow guests. For everyone, here is the clincher, ready? For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled. And he who humbles himself will be exalted. You can humble yourself, or you can trust Him to humble you. And He will use, He can, and I've seen Him use embarrassment to get you to where He wants you. Isn't God faithful and wonderful? And we can trust Him to make us better. We can trust Him to cause us to be humble and servant. But I have found in my 32 years of life that it's better to humble myself by choice rather than to trust Him to do it for me. Either way, it's going to happen because He loves me so much. But I would rather do what He says. If you humble yourself, He'll exalt you. If you exalt yourself, I love this song. What is humility? What does that look like? It looks like service. Remember, a bunch of us went out to La Puente one time. We cooked a meal, the evening meal for the people there. And that's just great. I mean, that's service. What's it take to get humble? Just go out or to just go out and serve somebody. And you're taking on the character of Christ. You're looking like Christ. You're smelling like Christ. You're killing your ego, and God goes, okay, I could use you now. I get invited to meetings, and as a pastor, I'll go, and they will, normally 9 times, we don't do that in our church, but 9 times out of 10, the pastor and the team will sit up in front. And I would go expecting to sit up in front, but I never go up and sit in front. I always find any place. And then whoever's doing it will come invite me. I just never do that. Why? Because I hate to have the person who's running the meeting come up and say to me, brother, this place is for important people, and you are not all that. You can exalt yourself, you can trust Him to humiliate you. You can humiliate yourself through service and qualify yourself to be raised up by God. It's your choice.